Hey, what's up? Pixelflux here, and today we're going to be taking a look at these Inateck wireless Bluetooth earphones. Now, I feel a little bit silly because up to probably a month and a half ago, I didn't really know that these things existed. I thought earphones are really tiny and whatever, you can't fit a battery in there, and then you've got the receivers and whatnots. I was totally wrong. I mean, Amazon and eBay are just full of these things, and I was looking for new speakers which I bought recently, and I just kind of stumbled upon something like that and I was like, whoa, this is pretty cool. So, I kind of looked around and I settled with these things. So these are the Inateck brand, and I'll show you what it is. This isn't going to be a surprise unboxing because I've used these particular ones for probably about 3 weeks now. So I will be able to tell you what is good about them and what's bad about them, so you kind of get 2 for 1 here. I'll show you what's in the box and what they look like and how they operate. So please sit back, relax, and enjoy the show. Now, the box itself reminds me a lot of the Anker products, if you've actually ever bought them. It's kind of a trend these days. You've got the laminated, nice cardboard sleeve, and then you've got the ropey recycled material cardboard box inside, housing all the good stuff. The thing here shows you what they kind of look like a little architectural drawing or whatnot. Pretty much like that. So the box tells me that the package contains the unit itself, silicone earplugs, 3-foot USB charging cable, or almost 1 meter, customized ribbons, which is kind of misleading. That's just one ribbon for cable management. It's got some Velcro on it, headphone carrying case, which we'll see, and then the instruction manual, which is pretty obvious. The tech specification sheet tells me that it's Bluetooth 4.1, it's got a 100 milliamp hour battery, and the playtime is about 6 hours. And it gives me some technobabble saying how awesome this whole thing is. They're pretty awesome. Now, the reason I bought these was because... Why is my camera not focusing? Come on. Asshole. Anyway. So the reason I bought these was because I wanted something wireless. I was like, whoa, wireless. Beautiful. Because I absolutely hated listening to music using my regular wired earphones or big headphones or whatever because of one reason. Another reason was the freaking wires. Cables, whatever. They used to just knot themselves, and then the knots get into knots, and then those knots get into knots, and then you spend like half an hour trying to untangle the whole thing instead of listening to music. Then get really frustrated, and then you don't feel like doing anything. So that kind of sucked. This solves the problem for me, and now I enjoy the music and walk around, and I'm like, ooh, this is beautiful. And then also they've got magnetic clips, so if I'm not listening to music anymore, I can just clip the two together and they form a nice kind of necklace on my neck, I suppose. So, it can be a fashion accessory if you're into that, and it's just really useful. So, in the box, we pop out of the sleeve. It's just a black box. Again, not too bad, not too big, And we're greeted with this amazing thing, which does a lot of things. Not really, so we put it to the side. We've got the instruction manual, which shows us the unit itself and what it is. And I've actually read some reviews. Some people complained how the instruction manual is not clear enough and they got their something caught somewhere and they couldn't set it up and whatnot. I think they just can't read English, or they were reading the Chinese side of things. Now, if you actually find the English side, or pretty much any other side, you'll see how clear this whole thing is. It shows you exactly what's going on. If my camera focuses, come on, oh, there we go. So it shows you exactly what's going on, exactly what does what. It shows you, let's see, it shows you what is what, what buttons do what, all the explanation of the functions, the package, tips, troubleshooting, information, whatever. It shows you pretty much everything, how to set it up, and it's really simple. All I had to do was not even read this one, just look up the section that I'm interested in. The rest was straightforward. So I don't know why people were complaining about it. They probably just can't read English. Anyway, in the box we've got soft pouch, which, you know, it's not bad. It's got a zipper. So let's move the box out of the way. Ooh, there we go. So it's got a zipper. We unzip that thing. We've got the unit itself, which again probably wasn't packaged like that, but I just put it back in for the review's sake. Then you've got the cable, which is a standard USB micro plug. You probably have these things laying around everywhere like I do, because you've got, you know, phones or power banks or whatnot, which these come with, and you've got that Velcro cable management tie, whatever. So, you know, that's pretty useful, I suppose. Then you've got a little packet with extra silicone earplugs. So, you know, when yours get filthy, you can just exchange these. I don't know if you can get replacements, but I mean, these things usually don't last super long, so I don't know if you would. But, you know, whatever. And then the case itself is actually not bad. It's nice and soft inside. You've got the little compartment there. So if you want to use it for your SD cards, for your camera or something, you know, it's pretty good. So then we've got the unit itself. If my camera focuses on the damn thing, there we go. So the unit itself clips together, like I said. That clipping together is actually really useful because it stops the music. More about that later. Now, it's a fingerprint magnet. If I just go there, it's, you know, it's shiny, it's subjective to scratches and fingerprints, and, you know, so I can just go, boop, there's my fingerprint there. But, you know, they're gonna be probably hidden behind your hair and whatnot, so it's not that big a deal, I think. You've got on the right ear side, you've got the controller. You've got the on, off, pair, stop, play, power, whatever switch, which is this button there. You've got the LED indicator, which tells you whether your device is on or not and what's going on with it. You've got the microphone port there, that little hole. On the other side, you've got the volume rockers. You've got the plus and the minus, which obviously up and down they go. If you hold either of them, that's gonna start a new song or go to the previous song. So, you know, that's a pretty straightforward control. And I think that's about it in the functional, in the control kind of side. You can obviously, you know, like answer phone calls and whatnot and stuff like that. But obviously, you know how to do this anyway. If you've got a wired headset, same thing. On the right side, you've got the little port there, which you know, like little flap. You open that up and you plug in your micro USB. So I've got this cable hanging around. I can just plug it in, and that's it. That's how you do the charging. When you charge, that little LED turns red. That means it's charging. When it turns blue, that means it's full and it's not hungry anymore. So you just plug it off and close that port, and that's it. Now that port's plugged because these are apparently weatherproof and like water, whatever, resistant up to whatchamacallit. So if you're a sports person, you're running around and you splash some water on you, or it's raining or whatever, you don't have to worry about them getting fucked, essentially. So that is that. Right, so the sound quality is really better than I expected. A lot of people say that, oh, it's lacking in the mids or it's lacking whatever. I don't know what they're talking about. They're probably audiophiles, and you know they've got these frequency responsive ears and whatever. I don't know what the fuck they're talking about. These are pretty good. They're actually much better than I expected, because the previous set that I had, not Bluetooth, wired, they were okay. They were nice and everything, you know, but I would prefer to listen with large headphones. Now these ones, they're good, really good. The audio's clear. There's no hissing or puffing or whatever, no noise. They're bassy. I like bassy, at least, you know, or maybe it's just my music, whatever. They're pretty good, clear sounds, so I quite like it. Now sometimes what happens is they disconnect. So I don't know if it's my phone's issue or if it's the issue of this here thing, but it does sometimes happen that they kind of have difficulty connecting, so I gotta turn it on and off and whatever. Power saving tip. These are supposed to last up to 6 hours, which they do. So if you're listening to music, say up to an hour a day, you're commuting, you're walking to work, whatever, it's pretty much gonna last you a week if you're listening to up to an hour a day, right? But they won't if you leave this on a standby mode, because obviously you can just clip that together, the music stops, and you're like, yeah, I'm ready to go, that's it. And you just kind of stay there for a day. The Bluetooth is obviously still on, and when these things are on, I'll show you, the little LED keeps flashing blue, so you kind of know that these are live. So you've got the connection running, you've got the LED running, whatever. We've got obviously the buttons thinking whether or not they're being pressed, I suppose. So that drains power. So you're not going to get the 6 hours of your playtime if you don't turn them off. So that's a little tip there. Now I'm going to show you how to pair these things to the phone, and for that I'm going to use my trusty old Galaxy S4, which I don't really use as my main phone anymore. Now I've done this before, so I'm just going to quickly unpair the device. And I'm going to turn off Bluetooth, going to turn it back on just so it resets. So there we go. So we don't have the headphones there anymore. So all you got to do is just press that and keep holding it until it flashes blue and red. So there's the blue, there's the red. So I'm going to say scan. It appears there at the bottom. Click that, pairs it. Boom, done. Simple as that. So I don't know why people were saying, oh, it's difficult to pair. Literally takes, what, 5 seconds? Beautiful. So now you can play your music and, you know, do your voice messages and whatever. Since I use a Microsoft Lumia 950 XL as my main phone, which is that there phone, I sometimes use Cortana with it, and it works. You know, it works through the thing. So when the phone's in my pocket, for you Lumia users, that works pretty well. What else? Sometimes you get, and I don't know if this problem persists on all the Bluetooth headsets or just on this particular model. I'll explain why. Basically what happens is sometimes you move your head too fast, or you go under whatever bridge, and you know it stutters sometimes, like just like a little half a second stutter, or sometimes it goes like a little popping sound. You know, it doesn't annoy me because it doesn't happen often, but it does happen. So some of you audiophiles might think, oh, this is bad, or you know, the device is broken or whatever, but I don't think it is. I think it may be a Bluetooth problem or that thing. I'll tell you why. Because I use this on my Lumia 950 XL. It does that, and my friend has got the exact same thing, these earphones, and he asked me the other day, oh, does yours do that thing? And he uses his on a Sony Xperia Z5. So again, not sure if it's a Bluetooth problem or if it's that device that does that. Like I said, doesn't annoy me, doesn't happen often, the sound is otherwise really nice and clear. But something to know, I suppose, if you're buying and you're expecting like a totally perfect experience. If somebody knows, like if you're an owner of like other Bluetooth headsets, let me know in the comments down below if that happens with yours. It would be really interesting to know. Otherwise, that's pretty much it, I think. I mean, they're comfortable. I was skeptical of the whole in-ear thing, but they're pretty good. Actually, the whole in-ear thing, these are very good at canceling noise. Like surprisingly good. If I just plug them in my ears and walk around the streets, I could probably get hit by a car if I'm not looking around. Like they just kill all the noise, and especially when you've got the music on, that's it. So if you're a gym freak and you go to the gym and you don't want to listen to Justin Bieber or Nicki Minaj or whatever the fuck is playing there, which is usually shit, that is going to help you. That's going to kill all the noise, and you can just work out listening to your own beautiful music. Batteries not included. So, I think that's pretty much it for now. If I forget something, I'll just add it into the description or the comments or whatever, or the annotations, what have you. If you've got any questions, suggestions, or explanations, or just have anything to say whatsoever, leave a comment down below. I do read them all. I do reply to them if necessary. If that's a question or something that needs to be addressed, I do reply to them. So, you know, you're not going to be left alone. So thank you very much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please do hit the like and the subscribe and the whatnots. It does help me make more videos, because obviously the whole YouTube shebang. And thank you very much, and we'll see you next time. Oop! Like a total idiot, I forgot a couple of pretty important things about it. The charge time is probably about an hour. I didn't measure it, but it feels like it, and it goes to full charge. When it does charge, it shows you in the little indicator. You plug it in, it goes red. When it charges, it gets blue, that little LED there, so you know that it's fully charged. And another thing which is quite weird, if you use any smartwatches or whatever's, say I use the Microsoft Band 2 right here. Boop. So I use that thing. If you use anything like that, like smartwatches and smart gear or whatever, which is via Bluetooth, if you're listening to music, that's pretty much gonna hog all your bandwidth. So I don't know, I don't know if it happens with my particular phone or this particular headset or whatever, but you know, say on this Band 2, I can control the music on my phone, usually, but I can't do that when this is playing. So, you know, it just keeps going, connecting, and it keeps blinking, and it can't do that, which is weird, bad, I suppose. So just one thing to keep in mind, that if that's playing, then, you know, you might not necessarily be able to use your watch functionality and whatever, which, you know, goes to your phone. Ta-da!